Hi, I'm Sadie. I'm here with Guy Eshel, winemaker at Dalton Winery in Israel. So I'm super excited about you being the winemaker. You just took over in the 2015 vintage.
It's true.
And this is a very different project from what you've done in the past. You were formerly at Brock Cellars.
Yeah.
And you did some stages in Europe.
Yeah.
So you've worked a lot with natural wines, which is not formerly what Dalton is about. What are the new wines going to be like?
Well, I think we'll have a lot of interesting products coming out that you'll see in the future. The great thing about Dalton is that for the past 20 years, we've really evolved from like one of the more typical Israeli wineries to a true estate grower producer. That means I have a big playground of amazing vineyards with some of the most interesting terroirs in the northern Galilee in Israel to play around with and to produce very special wines that really speak a certain style of place and have a characteristic that goes through and shines through like our wines.
What year was Dalton founded?
Dalton was founded in 1995. It was 1995 by Alex Haruni and his father Matt. They started it as a little cooperative between local farmers and wine producers in the area of the Galilee.
And how many cases do you produce now?
Well, what we started out, we were making about 30,000 bottles, and it kind of exponentially grew from 300,000 bottles to 600,000 bottles last year in 2015, and now we have the ability to make about 1,000 tons worth of estate fruit, which goes around to close to 1 million bottles.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, are you still considered a boutique winery?
I would like to say so, but we are commercial in the fact that we produce a wide range of products that some of them are your everyday wines that are kind of, fit for every occasion. Others are much higher end and vineyard specific that are much more crafty, if you may. So I would say we're more of like a modern grower producer than a boutique.
We've talked a little bit about like our love of natural wines and
that's true.
Wild yeast and stuff like that. Do you have any wines like that will be coming out from 2015?
Out of 2015, yeah. First of all of our whites are pretty much made in that sense. I started playing around this year with carbonic maceration on some varieties that we haven't produced before, like Barbera, Cabernet Franc. The results are interesting.
Barbera seems to be doing really well in the Galilee.
It does do very well. It's a very acid-driven variety, and I think it's still a bit tough for the Israeli crowd to digest. They don't really know what to make of it. They're used to, the Israelis are used to drinking really big Cabernet. So I think slowly introducing to them new concepts, new varieties in small quantities will be an interesting goal for me in the future. Yeah.
I'm all for the high acid.
Could be cool. High acid.
So the wine that I chose to open up is the Dalton Elkosh Semillon. I love this wine because it's kind of a breakaway. It's like a very anti-conformist white.
Yes.
You don't really see a lot of whites on the market, like high quality whites, and Semillon is an unusual grape for the area.
Yep.
And it comes from a single vineyard. So why don't we taste this?
Sure.
And you could,
let's pour some.
Tell us
nothing like starting the morning with some Semillon.
Yeah, you can't start too early with Semillon.
So Semillon from the Elkosh Vineyard. So this is a single vineyard coming out from the upper Galilee region, more inland, more close to the ocean. So we're about 50 minutes from the ocean when. So there's a little bit more of a Mediterranean influence rather than the continental influence that we get closer to the Dalton Highlands. Elkosh is one of our flagship vineyards. It was planted in 2009, and the Semillon there is one of the kind of like the first pioneering Semillon, I think, in the Galilee of the new era, which I mean like in the 90s.
What do you smell in this wine? It's a really solid wine.
It's solid and it's salty to me. It has like this ocean breeze character.
Like a little bit of a white flower.
It's like a white flower, or maybe,
blossom.
yeah, or maybe like it kind of reminds me a little bit of kiwi, a little bit, you know, like you crack a kiwi open, so that like fresh, like kind of a green, but it's not melon. It has like this kind of aromatic character to it. The wine itself is not like super intense acidity. Actually, the acid is pretty mild, but the minerality that it gains from that lime soil. So in Elkosh Vineyard and in Galilee in particular, most of the soils are about limestone and terra rossa, which is a decomposed, oxidized limestone. Here in Elkosh, we have about 40% active lime, so that makes life for the vines really, really tough. So I think that definitely channels through our wines in terms of whites and the Cabernet, of course, which...
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
It's really full.
That's really crunchy.
And yeah, crunchy and persistent on the palate.
Yeah.
Really lasts.
It's nice, yeah. So this wine was actually still made by Naama Sorkin, who's my predecessor at Dalton. She did a really great job with the Semillon. This one was not fermented with wood casks at all.
But it has a little graininess, a little texture.
It does have a lot of texture.
What is that coming from?
That's just the natural characteristic of the Semillon. The wine that comes out is so rich. In the beginning, it's like really, it's like over aromatic and powerful, and like over time it loses those fermentation aromas, the esters, and they kind of drop out, and the wine just becomes like really mineral driven. It's a great wine. It actually drinks much better after like a couple years of bottle age. Like when it's young, it keeps evolving. It's inconsistent. Now it's like 3 years after it's been made, and it's only starting to show some really nice secondary characters that are suiting it much more than what it was when it was freshly bottled.
It's holding up really nicely.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see where it's going. And I'm excited to see what you do with it.